This bag has a compartment for water. My other bag has a hydration bladder on it, but water, especially if you're walking long ways, you can never have too much water on you. A couple different grunt calls. I use a couple of different ones. This is an old grunt call. I have no idea what kind it is, but it sounds really good. I really like the way that one sounds, so I carry it with me too. And it gives you a couple different tones for them deer to hear. So, going the wrong way. So you got a couple different tones you can use there. The other one I carry is kind of beat up. It's old, and this is the made by HS Strut, and this is the True Talker, and this is a fantastic grunt call. I've used quite a bit of grunt calls. This is my favorite because you don't have to do anything to adjust the reed. It's got this rubber, whatever this material is made out of, stretched over an opening, and all you got to do is push down on it to change the tone. So you can go from a buck to a fawn, just like that, and you can do everything in between. And it has these memory bands, which I don't use and probably should, to when you find that tone that you really like, you put that on there, and you know you press right there, and you make the sound that you want. So I carried a couple different grunt calls with me, and by far one of my favorite calls ever is, I use the original can. They have several different models of this, but this is the Doe and Estrus Bleat. Real easy to use, sounds great, and I've called in a lot of deer with this thing. So thank you, Mr. Primos. I love this call, and I use it. I've got my money's worth out of this call. I can guarantee you that. So I carry quite a few different calls with me, and in this same pouch I've got more scent away. When I get to the tree after I've walked in and sweat, built up a little bit of sweat, I'll spray myself down real lightly with this. So never have too much scent away. The thing we got in this pocket is I've got some makeup, my old camo compact, made by Hunter Specialty. I use makeup quite a bit. I don't like to mask that well, so I always carry some makeup with me. I got another good durable knife with me. I have a hip knife with me, but I always like to carry one in my pack too. This one's more of a utility knife. This is it's a case folder. You can see it's got a serrated blade on it, and it's a good thick heavy knife. This is one from I got from joining the North American Hunting Club when I became a life member. So not endorsing North American Hunting Club at all, but this is what I got when I became a life member from them, and I carry it quite a bit and use it for a utility knife. I use it for multiple different reasons. I've hardly ever skinned a deer with it or cleaned a deer with it, but I've got it there if I need it. I always like to have enough knives on me. One of the best survival tools that you can have, I think. We got our knife. Also got a good compass, and with modern GPS, you don't really need to carry a compass anymore, but I always carry a compass with me. You never know when you're going to need one of these things. Really handy to have, really useful, can get you out of a bind. Speaking of GPS, on this side, I've got a pocket here. It's not really made for my GPS. It doesn't fit that well, but I got to kind of squeeze it out of there. But GPS. If you're going to be doing a lot of hunting on territory, land that you don't know that well, like I do a lot of public land hunting, do a lot of traveling, stuff like that, GPSs are an invaluable tool. This one here it's Explorer 500 by Magellan. It's got tons of different options with tons of different things you can do with this thing. But the most important thing is you can keep a track of where you go, where your Jeep's parked, where your vehicle's parked, where you're actually sitting at, where your tree stands are. So no more fumbling around trying to find that tree stand in the dark. No more fumbling around trying to find your way back to your vehicle in the middle of the night. One of the spots that I hunt is 4,000 acres. And public land, I like to hunt way in there, way deep in the middle. So this has gotten me out of a bind quite a few times. So there was one night that I actually walked for about 45 minutes in the wrong direction, and finally realized that I wasn't where I needed to be. Pulled out the GPS and made the hour-and-a-half hike back to the Jeep. So very useful tool. You can pick these up on eBay in several different places. Fairly inexpensive. Really useful, and I highly recommend everyone that's going to do a lot of hunting in public land and territory you don't know to have a good GPS on you. The last thing that I have on my bag is my rattling horns, and said with bungee cord, I got my bungee cord on there. And I've had a lot of people ask me why I still carry these big rattling horns. They got bags now and boxes and caul you can just twist together and things like that. But for me, it's worth the hassle of carrying them. This is the first big mature buck that I ever killed, and you can see he's not that big, but this is the first mature buck that I ever took, and I was going to have him mounted, and a friend of mine who's an older guy who'd been hunting for a long time, he kind of talked me out of having him mounted since he wasn't that big. I think this thing ended up scoring 110, something like that, but I was young. This is the first big buck I'd ever killed, so he convinced me to make these into a set of rattling horns. And the nice thing about it is, whenever I go to deer camp, whenever I go somewhere around other hunters and I got my bag with me, they can see my rattling horns hanging off there, and they can see that I've got a respectable set of horns. I've got some horns at the house that are hanging on the wall. This was my biggest buck behind me here, and I've got 4 or 5 just good, decent bucks. 110 to 130 class deer, but you don't get to see them unless you come to my house. So if we're ever at a deer camp together, you're going to see these horns on my pack. It's a nostalgic kind of thing. It's my first deer. I get to see that every time I go hunting, and it's my first mature deer, and it reminds me of what I'm after. When I go hunting, I am a meat hunter, and the first of the year I like to kill a couple does, but when it comes time for the rut, it reminds me that this is what I'm after. I'm after something mature. I don't really care about horn size. I want a good mature buck, and I want to leave the young ones alone. So this is a good reminder of that, and it's a good way for me to show off my first big mature buck. So that's pretty much what I carry in my pack. Like I said, I carry multiple different kinds of packs for different kinds of reasons. I carry the Rancho Safari pack when I'm going to do a lot of stalking and a lot of walking, a lot of ground hunting, stuff like that. I carry this fanny pack when I'm going to be doing a lot of tree stand hunting. When I get to the tree, I can actually wrap it around the tree and secure it in. Don't have to have a hanger for it. I can strap it to my tree or to my stand real easy when I'm walking in and out. So that's just some of the stuff that I carry and some of the reasons why I carry it. I'd like to see some feedback on this video. I'd like to see some comments and see what you guys carry and why you carry it, and see some suggestions, see what you think about what I carry. And for you guys who carry some survival stuff, I'd like to see that and see the list of what you carry. When I go out on a long trip, I do carry a little survival pack in here. I've got my extra knife, I've got a lighter, I've got steel wool, I've got my pain pills, I've got some basic first aid supplies in there. So I'd like to see what you guys carry as far as emergency stuff, survival stuff, and I'd like to see what you carry in your pack and why. So be sure to leave us a comment. Be sure to visit our site. It's ikesoutdoors.com, and hit the contact us page, and let's see what you guys got in your packs, and let's kind of share some information on this. And see, I want to know what you carry for a lucky charm too. Like I said, I carry my Buckeye, so let me know what you carry for a lucky charm. We appreciate you watching this video. Be sure to check out all of our other videos on YouTube, on ikesoutdoors.com, Archery Talk. We've got them up pretty much all over the place. Meta Cafe, National Outdoors. Really too many sites to mention, so just Google Ike's Outdoors and you'll see some of our other videos. So we appreciate you watching. Be sure to leave us a comment, and thank you all.
I had my